This is Gabriel Gonzalez for Cage Side Press here with Patrick Brady, who finally makes it for PFL this Friday. Patrick, I mean, it's been a long wait. Obviously, we didn't get to see you in Vegas. Just talk to me your feelings right now.
I'm excited, man. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to get in the cage. I'm ready to make the walk. And like you said, it was, we went through. I was in Vegas. I was ready to fight, and you're going through all that fight week. Those nuances, right, of getting ready for a fight, and then the rug's kind of pulled out from underneath you. But this is the fight game, and that kind of stuff happens. So it's all good. We're here now. So.
Now, I was hearing a little bit about your story. You are rather, relatively speaking, newer to being a professional, and you kind of got into a little bit of peer pressure. Petrosky, your wife, kind of just saying, it's like, get into it. Okay, my question when I hear this, you're a gentleman, almost 40, 37, I believe, when you became a pro.
Yeah, 37, I turned pro.
Yeah. I mean, was there ever thought it's like, just let me live? Who cares if I'm a pro? Like, did that ever cross your mind? Like, why did you need to shut them up,
I mean, look, I like to prove myself to people, right? And I like not only to people, but to myself, right? I want to prove things to myself. And I don't want to leave any doubt in my head when I'm 50 and, everyone's telling war stories around the campfire. I want to know that, like, I went for it, right? That I push it to the limit, right? And, my life has been one war story after the other. There was a lot of trials and tribulations that I had to overcome as a child and as a young adult. And, like you said, I made my pro debut at a later age, and there was a lot of specific details around that and that journey and how I got to where I am now.
I mean, being in a big promotion now, can I ask, has it lived up to what you maybe imagined it would be? I mean, not many guys like, hey, 37 going to get picked up by one of the big three in America.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. The PFL has been great to me. And, my manager, Jason House, over at Iridium, has been, he's taking care of all the details that needed to be taken care of. And I'm really grateful to be here, right? Like you said, there's a lot of guys probably with more experience than me, right, that would love to be in my position and love to be making that walk at the OTA arena Friday night. So, like I said, I'm super grateful. And some of the things that, I to go through in life, and, I got sober in 2016, right? And, I stopped drinking, right? And I struggled with that previous to that. And 2018, I made my amateur debut, and I've kind of really been able to focus on myself and being a good person and contributing to society in a positive manner. And it's been quite the journey, man. I'm really, like, the word grateful is probably the most descriptive word to explain how I am.
Safe to say, martial arts, the discipline, all the work that goes into being in the gym and being, on top of it day in, day out, helped a lot in terms of the, recovery and everything with the process?
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, I started my recovery journey in 2016, and I spent 2 years on myself, right, working on me, mentally, spiritually, before I even started to work on me physically. Right. So then in 2018, I took a small little amateur recovery-based boxing match that was just, a fundraiser for some recovery houses in the area. And at that boxing match, there was an MMA fighter also participating, and he was saying how MMA fighters are tougher than boxers. Yeah. So
I see a pattern now.
Yeah. So I didn't even know what jiu-jitsu was. I had no clue, right? Just no experience in MMA. Like, for me, the only thing I knew was Chuck Liddell. You know what I mean? Like, I knew a name. And from that, 6 weeks later, I was walking into a cage. At literally 6 weeks later after that match, I was walking in a cage, and with very little experience. And, that was my first and only loss, split decision. And, it's been the new addiction since then, and it's been a positive one. So.
I mean, I love to hear it, and I'm glad to hear you're doing really well. As we round third with 2 more questions, talking about the story about Jimmy and your dad pushing him, taking you to, you had to take 2 L's in one day as a young man. I mean, look, we now PFL, heavyweight, pro fighter.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say you got Jimmy's number if you run into him again?
Yeah, I mean, look, the neighborhood that I grew up in, we were fighting all the time, right? Like you were constantly having to prove yourself. And everyone was always testing you. So, yeah, it's safe to say that, I'm top dog in that neighborhood now. So
love to hear it. Love to hear it. Finally, you know what? You look at those standings. Only get to have 1 fight regular season, but look at those points. It's still, anything could happen. We saw it last week. Defending champion gets bounced after a first-round finish.
Yeah.
Anything could happen out there. Is there that feeling like, you know what, I do want to go in there with that incentive? Or at this point, everything you've gone through, is it just like, you know what, just fight smart, get my win, whatever happens, that's something else?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fight, right? Like, so anything can happen, right? We haven't been game planning to get the first round knockout, right? But you're always game planning to get the first round knockout, right? Like, it hasn't been that specific, but tell me a fighter who doesn't want to get a first-round knockout. It doesn't matter. There's points or not involved. That's what you want. So, that's what we work, but not specifically by design. But, we're in there to get finishes. So that's what we look to do Friday night.
Patrick, we're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yes,
Have a great one. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.